Greetings, my fans. I'm back. Now, I am sorry that I haven't posted in a while, but there's actually a reason behind it. You see, I record most of my videos on my phone, and my phone has been broken. So, I am now going to have to record on this computer until I get a new phone, which might take a while. So I'm sorry for the bad video quality, but this is the best we're going to be getting for a while. Now, as you probably have noticed by my survival series, well, my zombie survival series, I'm a survivalist. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 tools in my collection for survival. Now, unfortunately, I had to cut out the things that I consider most useful, such as my duct tape, my super glue, my lighter, my matches, and all those things, because I don't think they can count for this list. I'm going strictly tools on this one. So that being said, let's get into the video. Now, this is the stuff that is in my collection personally. Now, with that being said, number 5 on the list, a hammer. Now, the thing about hammers is they're great normal tools, but as far as survival goes, they have pretty limited use. I mean, in the apocalypse, hammers are useful. Hammering nails, remove nails, bashing in zombie skulls. But ultimately, it could use some serious work. Now, with that being said, it can have some other useful uses, such as opening nuts and breaking windows, but other than that, I don't see much of a use for this. But it's one of the only tools I have, so it goes into the collection. Now, with that out of the way, our next item is my folding saw. Now, this is actually very useful. Good for collecting wood, and being able to, to get process logs without using as much energy as you would with chopping it with an axe. Now, unfortunately, these do take quite a while to use, and the energy used to for this could be used for something else. But with the fact that you can easily process wood easier than with a hatchet or an axe, ultimately I say it makes the list. Plus, it's more useful than the hammer. So, and it's folding, which makes it more useful than a normal saw because it takes up less space and it doesn't have the risk of cutting anything. And yes, as long as you don't somehow manage to cut yourself on on this when it's folded, it severely lowers your chance of getting tetanus, which is very dangerous in the apocalypse. Now, with that out of the way, next tool.
Excuse me?
My machete. Now, the thing about machetes is, this is actually an interesting case. It was originally a farming tool, but has since been adapted to a weapon, a multitude of other tools, and has many different survival uses. It can be used for farming, as I mentioned, getting wood, clearing a path, and of course, as a weapon. If I remember correctly, there was this one riot where people were just attacking each other, and there was just this one guy standing around holding a machete, and no one went near him. Now, if that shows anything to say about machete, is people are scared of them. Well, more accurately, people are scared of attacking the guy who has one, unless they also have a weapon. Now, with that in mind, Machete has multiple uses, but ultimately, I can't really say it deserves the #1 spot on the list. But it can also be used for chopping smaller pieces of wood, which is why it gets above the folding saw. Now, after that, we have my hatchet. Now, as I mentioned with the folding saw, this does take more energy to use for chopping wood, but it is far more effective at gathering large amounts of wood. Now, that is important because without being able to gather it, you won't be able to use to efficiently survive. Assuming that you're in the woods or even just in a place that has that uses wood for various things. You're going to need something like an axe, or a hatchet. In order to properly gather this stuff. Now this can be used for chopping wood, processing logs, cutting. It has a blade on it, but it also has a blunt side on it, meaning that you can use it as a hammer. Notice how I keep mentioning that. It's not good, but it is a benefit. Now, of course it does have its problems, but hey, also a weapon. Now, before we go to our #1 choice, I would like to give an honorable mention to this. You might be asking, what is this? This is a sharpening stone. For various things on here, such as the machete and hatchet, if you don't have them staying sharp, they are worthless. I mean, sure, they might, even if they get dull, they can use their weight in to be able to still be used, but they're going to be far more useful sharp. And this can be used for many different things. It's just sharpening different things. Other than sharpening, it's pretty much useless. But it doesn't take up much space, as it can fit in the small part of your pockets that was originally meant for pocket watches. See? See, it can fit in there, and that's a very small thing, so you can easily carry it with you, without much problem. And with as useful as it is, I'd say there's not much of a reason to not carry it with you. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you my #1 pick. This is actually my favorite thing in my weapons collection too. My E-tool, or folding shovel. Standard military issue. Solid steel. Well, actually, I think this part's hollow in this part, but it's steel. Ultimately, this thing can be used as a shovel. It has a saw blade on it. A file. And it can be used and this side can be used for chopping wood. Of course, it's not going to be as effective as anything else, but you have the option. And it is also standard issue weapon for the military. Of course, it's more meant for digging trenches, but it is a good weapon. Heck, my dad was in the military, and he said that he once saw a person throw one of these at a guy. Ultimately, it's a good weapon. Multiple purposes. It has the saw blade on it, which, while not being as effective as the folding saw, definitely gives it an edge over that. Can chop wood. Of course, nowhere near as effectively as the hatchet, but, And of course, the fact that it's, that the entirety of the handle is steel, and actually has a handle that's easy to grip onto with no problem, definitely gives it an edge over, all of them. Of course, Yeah, I might do a video on how to make a better handle for these later, but I'm gonna need some money before I can do that. Now, with that in mind, that has been my top my top 5 survival tool videos. Now, with that in mind, this was just what out of the tools that I have. Now, of course, I could have added in stuff like duct tape and super glue, zip ties, and all that stuff, but ultimately, I don't think can count as a tool. It counts as either a resource or a material, but not a tool. Now, of course, I could easily say that they count as a tool, and duct tape would obviously come in number 1, but ultimately, I can't really say much about this other than that. So, on that note, this is Randoman, signing off.